All right, what is up, y'all? Yeah, I need to get a system set up that I can get all these windows open when I want to go live. It's like there's like a bunch of things, a bunch of stuff I have to go to just to go live. Um, I am finding a cold, so I probably won't be streaming for too long today, and I'm not sure how long my voice will work. But how's everyone How's everyone doing? Donna, you can still watch Netflix. Just pay more attention to me than Netflix. How's it going, everyone? What are y'all working on? Is anyone working on something cool? Someone asked, "What's your advice for a CS undergrad starting web dev?" Like, I would guess I would ask, like, what specifically are you asking for advice on? Like, getting a job? Like, what should you learn? What year are you in your undergrad? Are you a freshman? Are you like a junior? Are you a senior? I'm working on a project, but I find it hard to manage time, says Mark O, the dev. Yeah, I think as long as you commit like an hour or 30 minutes every day to something, like you can really see some progress over time. Easier said than done sometimes. Donnie says he's starting a new project that keeps musicians accountable when learning, only doing it to learn some new things though. Yeah, I'm curious how that works. Like, how do you keep musicians accountable? Is it just like a check-in thing? Like, did you do your scales this week? Did you do your, I don't even know what musicians would have to do to become accountable. Like achievements? I guess you could do like cool achievements. Like, did you be able to play this scale on a guitar at like 80 beats per minute or something? What's up, John Sanchez? Yeah, it's like Lotfi Jebeli. I don't know if I said that right. The thing I hate about working for a small amount of times is that I feel like I didn't do anything, unfortunately, even though I did. Yeah, it's just like a marathon, you know? It's like you just got to keep running those miles, and you look back and done like, what was it 21 point whatever? What's up, y'all? So I've been just working on this little side project. I think you guys have seen like a video of it, where like I have this T3 stack site where you can go and just enter in some prompt and have it generate some image using the Dall-E API. And I hooked this up to Stripe. So if you pay $5, you get 100 credits. That means you can make 100 images. I'm not trying to market this on my stream, but I'm just trying to like figure out ways to make this look nicer, maybe. I wanted to change these to be like rounded rectangles instead of radio buttons. So maybe I can work on this right now. It's not really UX friendly to like have to click on the things. It's very hard to do this. So I'm gonna go and like try to modify that. We can go to the generate page. Okay. Am I zoomed in enough? What's my zoom at? Oh, it's at 2. At 1. Let me zoom in a little bit more so it's better for streaming. And so I'm on the generate page, and there's like a list of colors that I loop over to show those out. And I believe the colors are just mapped over, and I just create input boxes, as you can see here. But it'd be cool if instead of checkboxes, they were actually like full scale circles or rectangles you can click. Because this isn't that user friendly, in my opinion. So let's see if we can kind of refactor that a little bit and redesign it. I'm trying to think of like what would be the proper HTML fields to do this. Like, should we still keep them inputs to make it accessible, or could we make them buttons? I guess I guess we could just style them, right? So instead of having a label here, Well, I think technically you should have a label to make it like proper. But let's see if we can actually like just change the input a little bit. So the input is right now a checkbox. And what do I want to do here? If I didn't give this a class radio, what does it look like? Actually, what would you all do? Can I just do buttons? If I could just do buttons. I'll do a button here, and I'll give it a class name. A width of like 20, height of 20. Then we will try to give it a rounded large, and we'll say background of white. Let's see if that shows a button anywhere. Okay. So if you have the button selected, yeah, I guess I don't really like how like you have to tap through every single button. I kind of like the checkboxes better. So like, let me go back real quick. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. How do you deploy an SQL database to Vercel? I don't think you can deploy databases to Vercel. Like you have to use Planetscsale or something else. All right, let's just see if I do this. Kind of don't want it to be a radio though, so let's get rid of the radio and see what happens. Is there a way to even do that? I like backend better. Someone asked, quick question, what do you like enjoy more, front end or backend? I like backend engineering better. I don't enjoy playing with CSS and HTML inputs and stuff and making it look nice. I just like the DevOps side of things and working on the backend side of things, personally. What am I working on? I'm just working on a little side project that is used for generating icons using AI, using the Dall-E API. Isn't Vercel just Lambda functions? Yeah, when you deploy to Vercel, they just use Lambdas behind the scenes. If you want a database, you could use like Planetscsale. This is the OpenAI image generating beta. Yeah, I'm just using this. I'm basically just wrapping this API and I'm just calling it with like a preset prompt where I inject some templates depending on like what colors you select and stuff. Like there's really no point to the side project I'm working on. Like I'm just doing it for fun. So I have something that I could potentially teach in the future about how to make like a little SaaS product. But yeah, I mean, you just like select these inputs, it generates a template, calls this API, you get back some images. I take those images, I store them in S3 so that everyone can see like everyone else's images that they've created. I also scale those images down so that only you have access to the high res image. Like if you look at this image, I believe it's scaled down to like something small. It's kind of pixelated. So only the person who bought the actual icon could potentially see it. So if you go to like your collections, you can download the icon over here and I can view it. Then I get the high resolution icon right here. However, that one looks kind of creepy. I've been having a hard time focusing. Let's see. Unpin. I want to make sure I don't like lose this thing. So I'm trying to like, yeah, I'll show the backend code in just a second. I want to make these like boxes, but this is using inputs. I'm not sure if there's a way to style input radios to like not have the default styling. Is that possible? Tailwind input prevent default styling. Input radio input. Parents none. Best Tailwind learning guide, I would go read the docs. That's the best learning guide. I know it's not the answer you guys want to hear, but like just read the docs and try to build something with it. And it looks like a lot, but like at the very least, just start learning about the layouts. And then once you've learned the layouts, you can start learning how to do like background colors and just like the normal CSS stuff. It's not too bad. Okay, so it looks like if you add appearance none, it removes the default browser appearance of a radio. Is that good? I don't know, but that's what I want to do. And I want to get rid of the label. I think maybe we could, if you want to keep this accessible, I think you can like say ARIA only or something. Let's go back to Tailwind. I don't even know. ARIA. ARIA read only. I think that might be what I want. Read only. Anyway, so if I select these things, what I want it to do, actually, let me go ahead and give this like a rounded large. Go. And then I'm just going to get rid of the label for right now. I need to figure out a way to keep that in so it's like accessible. Okay, let's add some like hover appearance. So if for every single one, we want to change the background color to match the actual color. So I might just do a style like this. And then I'll just do color. Let's see if this does something. Not the most beautiful colors, but they work. So I want to say if you're checked, so this code is actually in a private repo. I'm not going to share this code just because. At some point I might, but I actually want to like make this like a legit Saas, and I just don't want to give out like the code for free. But I can share in a stream. I can talk about the backend stuff if you want. Let me go check out chat real quick. For the backend, this is just using Next, so it just uses Node under the hood. Check Frontend Master. They have a blog that shows you how to build input checks with CSS and HTML. What do you think are good projects for someone who wants to get a junior Node backend developer job? I mean, honestly, I'd probably just like try to build out a big REST API or something. I don't know. Maybe you can make something cool, like an API that can play chess or something. I'm working on a REST API for e-commerce. Yeah, I think that's good too. I mean, if you actually have it hooked up to like Stripe or some type of payment system, I think that would be really good. Some way for people to track their shopping cart, some way to keep track of the things that they've bought. maybe an admin panel or an admin API for like updating orders to know if they've been like fulfilled or not. You know, like think through the whole process of someone comes to your site, buys a product, and then you have people behind the scenes who have to package that product and ship it out to the right address. And they have to make sure that they don't accidentally ship the same thing twice. And they kind of like maintain all of that. How can I show my projects though? You would probably have a page that has like all the documentation. Like if you look at the Stripe API docs, if all you're doing is building a backend, then you should have some really good docs to explain how your backend works. I think that's a good way that you can like demo that you know what you're doing. And then your backend code should be like open source so people can look through it and make sure you're following good, like clean patterns. Am I going to do more projects with Go? Maybe one day I'll go back to Go. Have to mention is pretty complex with multiple types of users and everything normal e-commerce shop has. I mean, I would focus on one project and get it done before you jump onto another project, personally. What's up, Miran? Is TypeScript mandatory integration for modern web devs, or is JavaScript enough? I think JavaScript's enough, but I think the industry is slowly like, I don't think it's slowly, it's already kind of there. Like TypeScript is like the de facto standard for a lot of larger projects and larger teams. If you're just like a solo dev and working like a small team of you and someone else, like you can use JavaScript, but if your team is like 10 developers all pushing code full time every day, it just becomes really hard to like refactor code if it's in JavaScript, versus TypeScript kind of allows you to change code around and it like yells at you when you break stuff. What's up, Patrick? What's up, Aondej Bakar? Probably didn't pronounce that right. Is a to-do app a good project to learn new language? I think it is. Check out Pays for payments. I would like to hear your thoughts sometimes in a stream about how it compares to Stripe. Yeah, if I have time, I'll look through the API and stuff. Am I using Stripe webhooks for payment confirmation? I am. So yeah, when someone actually finishes checking out and their payment goes through, Stripe sends me a message on my webhook endpoint, and then I confirm that payment. What's up? What's up? Sometimes I wonder how Stripe works under the hood. Shoaib, React Native, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Do I still play StarCraft? No, I haven't played in a while. You know, I was binging StarCraft. I was playing like hours every day, and then it just made me rage every time I lost, so I decided to stop playing. But StarCraft is one of those games, like if you take it seriously, it's just like a high stress environment game that you're like stressed out trying to play all the time. The power of TypeScript is ultimately the developer experience. The fact that you can introspect, say, GQA schemas and make sure you're dealing with the correct types is game changing. Yeah, I mean the developer experience is good for TypeScript. For a beginner though, TypeScript can be kind of overwhelming because it's hard to learn like how to type everything. And like you'll get an error when you're trying to type React, and you'll spend like 20 minutes trying to figure out like why is this stuff red, and then you just want to remove TypeScript and go back to JavaScript. But if you kind of push through that pain, you will see some benefits after you get a handle on like what's going on. Can you get rich from a Saas? How is the process of building one, planning them? I don't know. This is the first Saas I've tried building, and honestly, this is just like a little joke side project. Like if you even go to the front end, if you go to my little, what are my users saying? I made all this stuff up. Like I just made this stuff up, so I don't really care. Like the testimonials, I made these up. This is just something I'm building for fun. So I can't really answer that question of like, can you actually make money with the Saas? I know there's people out there who make money with the Saas, but I think if you want a job security and you want that paycheck every 2 weeks, I think joining a company and being a developer at that company is probably the better bet than trying to build a Saas for yourself. I think you got to get lucky. You got to know a bunch about how to market, how to convince people to buy your product. You got to be on Twitter all the time. You got to be on social media all the time, pushing your product. It's just too much work, honestly. Why did I switch from Junkie to Web Dev Cody? I just wanted my name in the channel. And then Junkie is not really like the best term. You know, like people who are addicted to stuff, like we call them junkies. And it's just, I decided to just get rid of that term and just stick with Cody. Yeah, thank you for watching the stream. I'm glad you like my stream and my videos. What's up, Dev Free Max? What backend lang am I using? I'm using Node. Can I make a video on GraphQL? No, because I never use GraphQL. Maybe if I do decide to learn it, I'll make a video on it. I just haven't worked with it professionally. And I don't like making videos on stuff that I don't really use in my full-time job. Okay, let's see. Is the industry moving from JavaScript to Rust WASM? I would say no. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people moving to Rust who might have been using like lower level languages like C or C++. They might be moving to Rust, but I don't think JavaScript developers are moving to Rust. Maybe a backend developers might be. I don't know. Let's see. So many questions. If I've been hired to work as a junior with a certain set of tech, such as Laravel, Angular, how unlikely is it to get a job with different tech in the next job, say within the first year of the job? I mean, I think it's gonna be harder to get a job that isn't in Angular. Like if you've been working with Angular for a year, a company would probably want to pick someone who has a year of React experience if they have a React project. But it doesn't 100% like disqualify you because you still have the understanding of like these UI frameworks and how like templating works and how state works and how you have probably some type of state management library. You understand like how the backend works. So I don't think it'll disqualify you, but I think a lot of companies will probably want to hire you and have you hit the ground running on your first couple of days than to have to like train you and get you up to speed. And then you might not be actual like productive until like a month after getting hired. But that's just my opinion. Okay. There's tons of different companies out there. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Some of them have the time to like train people and bring them up to speed. It just depends on where you happen to like get that interview at. Can we create a Jira and manage a project to production level by collaborating with an open community? Yeah, I mean, you can join my Discord and try to get people to work on that with you. That'd be cool. That's actually a good project idea. Like if you make like a project management app, like Jira or Trello or GitHub workflows or some workspaces. What is it called? GitHub, like the GitHub project board. Yeah, people make more money selling courses. That's what I plan to do with my Saas. Like I just wanted to build a Saas and then make a course explaining how to build this. But honestly, I don't know if I even have the energy to do that. Making a course is so much work, and I don't want to say lazy. I just don't have the energy to do it. What's up, VS? Love your videos. I'm glad you like my videos. Is it hard to learn Node? I don't think so. I mean, everything's hard to learn when you first start learning it. Then once you get a hang of it, it's pretty easy. What's your favorite stack? I like using React for the front end. Right now, being using like Next for side projects. And then like Node on the back end. And then I like using Postgres or SQL for the back end. Sometimes I use DynamoDB for the database. I mean, what is my full-time job? I'm a full-time, I guess you could say full stack engineer. I know about front end, back end, DevOps stuff. Do you recommend trying out T3 stack for beginner backend dev? I mean, in Node, I have a little experience in Python and Django. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the issue of trying out the T3 stack. It's not too hard to like understand what's going on, in my opinion. But I'm biased since I've been doing this for a while. Currently in a boot camp for full stack and learning React. Is just making projects in React the best way to learn? I mean, that depends. I mean, everyone learns differently. For me, I like building stuff. I need hands-on experience. Like if I'm trying to learn a new framework or a library, I got to build it for myself until it actually clicks. So I would say yes. Like you need to build stuff, learn how to solve these problems using the React mindset of like functional programming and like use effects and state like that. But again, that's just me. Some people thrive with watching courses. in tutorials and stuff, and other people do not. Do you approach any problem with one problem-solving method? I try to break it down into the smallest amount of sub-problems that I can, right? So like if you're looking at building out a project management application, I would try to break it down into smaller chunks. Like, can I get a login page? And then break that down into smaller chunks. Can I get an input on the page? And break that down into smaller chunks. Can I make that input turn red when someone tries to submit the form and they don't enter an email? That's my problem-solving method. Just if the problem seems too big and too overwhelming, just try to break it down so that it's more digestible. Can you start freelancing when you're a beginner? I think it'd be very hard, honestly, unless you have a nice portfolio that like shows you know what you're doing. Like, who's gonna hire you to build a website if you don't even know how to build a website, right? But that's just for me. I've tried like joining Fiverr and just trying to do some freelancing gigs on Fiverr, but the competition is so fierce. You're competing against like 50 other people who bid on the project within like 1 hour. And like if you have no star ratings on your freelancing portfolio, like no one's gonna hire you. So I think the best way, if you do want to try getting into freelancing, is find people, like go to businesses and talk to the real like people behind the counters and ask if they need a website, or go online and find people's websites and see if it looks bad and say like, hey, I'd be willing to redesign your website for this amount. Would you be interested? It just sounds like a lot of work to me, honestly. Good job. Yeah, building a calculator is a cool little app to build. Hold on, I gotta clear my throat. My voice is just... I'm dying over here. What is your font you're using for this app? I have no idea. I just use the default T3 stack font. Thoughts on no-code tools? I haven't really tried one. I wanted to take time to like try building a UI using no-code tools. But I do think they have potential to make you very productive in building websites. I never really spent time trying to learn a no-code tool. Like I know there's one called like Webflow that I hear is pretty good. I haven't tried Next.js, but I think it's probably better than using something like Express, honestly, because Express is a lot of like roll your own API endpoints versus I think Nest has like built-in things that like generate the API documentation for you. They got cool decorators you can use to add authentication to API endpoints and stuff. So I think Nest would be pretty cool if you just need to build an API. How can you use Stripe Webhook for local development? There's a method. Okay, so right here, this is how you use Stripe for local development. You just run from the Stripe CLI, you got to brew install it, or you got to install it on your machine. But when you have it, you say Stripe listen, and you forward your events to your local API Stripe endpoint. Okay. So basically, Stripe is going to send a message to your locally running, whatever this thing is. And then when this locally running service gets an event, it forwards it to your Stripe endpoint, and that's how you can kind of emulate Stripe working. Tyler says, thanks for answering my question. Love the content on your channel. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like my content. Who would company prefer for a React position? Is there a way to show timestamps? Like, oh, there is. Toggle. There we go. What time is it? Sometimes I get so far behind in chat, like I gotta speed up sometimes. Who would company prefer for a React position? Someone who's been 5 years experience with the React, or that's it, or someone with 3 years of experience for the React and 4 more experience in interim backend. Are you saying 5 years experience versus 7 years experience? I mean, they're gonna pick someone who has an extra 2 years of experience, in my opinion. 2 years working full-time is a long time. It's a lot of stuff you can learn in 2 years of full-time working. So picking someone with 7 years of experience over 5 years is like a no-brainer in my opinion. To me. I mean, you can, once you know Angular, you can easily learn React if you're a decent enough dev, I guess. Do I use React Native? Nope, I never used it before. I got hired as a front-end dev, but my first task was to sanitize data, lol. And at this point, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you always end up getting some weird tasks as you in your first position. I don't know what you mean by sanitized data, but it sounds like an interesting problem, I guess. Can you suggest a cheap alternative to the Amazon SMTP server? I have no idea, to be honest. I'm a backend developer, or I'm not sure what you mean. If you were a junior again, what would you focus on to improve efficiently quickly? Is there anything you recommend doing in your free time? Again, I think I'd just probably focus on building out a large scale project by myself, and also try to find someone else to work with who's like more experienced, if that's even possible. Like find a mentor. I mean, I'm dying over here. So like in this day and age, there's so many people on YouTube making videos now who are like experienced, and it's really easy to find like and follow these mentors who are online. If you can even call them mentors, or you can call them influencers, I don't really know. But when I started like 2011, there wasn't that many people on YouTube. There wasn't that many resources, so there's a lot of just like figuring stuff out for yourself, and like, you know, sitting in front of your computer by yourself and trying to figure this stuff out. But in this day and age, there's so many other people online that you can learn from. I would recommend that you like try your best to find groups of people or find a mentor. I don't know. I guess that's my advice. Yeah, there's a lot of questions, but hey, I mean, that's why I'm streaming, so I can answer questions. Just sucks that I'm sick, so it's like I'm constantly clearing my throat. I got like the phlegm in the back of my throat. Rough. What is the next thing to learn for Node.js position after Express? I mean, to be honest, the API I use at work is in Express, right? We use Express at work, so you don't have to learn anything after Express. There's no like the next best thing after Express. If you can build an API that achieves the business needs, like that's really all you need to go for. Like you could try learning Koa or Happy or REST. What is it called? Next.js. But I mean, honestly, once you've learned how to build an API, like it doesn't matter. Just you've unlocked what you need to unlock to be able to solve real problems. What icons in VS Code? What icon and theme? Oh, I'm using the bearded theme and bearded icons. Be cool if Chatterino worked for YouTube chat. Twitch chat client. Haven't used that before. Better developers are just better pattern match. I could see that. Ever use Terraform to provision AWS resources? Actually, in fact, let me show you what I got right here. You're in for a treat. I got some Terraform in this project right now. So this project, it only has one Terraform resource. It has an S3 bucket where I store all of the generated icons. I also scaled down the icons to make them like smaller so that they're faster to load in the front end, and I store those in the bucket as well. The public bucket that has HTTP access, and I use Terraform to provision that. I haven't gone through and set it up to have the proper like configuration to make it a public bucket and stuff. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't just break my entire app because I don't have any of that configuration, and I think it did a Terraform import. But yeah, I use Terraform to provision some things. I just need to come back and spend more time making it better. What is up, Sui from South Africa? Welcome to the stream. Does it matter to use different CSS frameworks like Bootstrap or Material UI or etc.? Or is it all the same in the same point? I think it's good to be exposed to some different things. Like you could learn an atomic CSS library like Tailwind, or you could learn Material UI. It's just kind of good to understand how these different things work, but you could probably just stick to one and get good at it if you just need to like build out little side projects. again, the goal is like you're going to get hired. If you don't have a job right now, when you get your first job, you're going to be pulled into a project that's using tools you've never seen before. They're going to be using backend API approaches that you've never seen before. So you're going to have to like relearn everything when you start your new job. They might say they're using React, and then you get there and they're using like some type of state management you've never seen. They've done their own hacky way to manage stuff in their React project, and you're just going to have to spend a bunch of time learning. So the goal is like, don't just get good at one thing, get good at learning how to learn new things. So the more you're exposed to, the more like confident you'll feel with like learning new stuff, and it'll be much easier to learn things. Let's see. What does a non-trivial project mean in your opinion? Does it mean something beyond CRUD? Non-trivial would be like you got authentication, authorization, you have different user roles. So like you might have an admin role that they can log in as an admin user. You might have normal roles that they can log in. You might be generating PDFs in your API. You might be doing some type of image manipulation or scaling. Your backend API sends out emails using like AWS SES. You have some type of asynchronous programming setup where you need to do like map reduce parallel processing on large data sets. So that's like non-trivial stuff. Which, when you start building out anything that's worth value, like you're going to run into those things. Like, how do you send out magic email login links? How do you send out forgot password email login links? Like, you could just use some type of like Auth0 that takes care of all that stuff for you. But trying to figure out how to do it yourself is just going to really help you understand like a lot of this stuff. Are you using T3? I am using T3 in this project. Would you recommend for a 10-year Java developer to move as a Node.js developer? I mean, start learning React, Next.js. Are you saying would I recommend you switching to Node? I mean, if you really don't like Java and you want to switch over to like the web dev scene of things, yeah, I would look into React and Next.js and just like understanding how Node works. Like maybe learn some of the standard libs of Node. Like how do you read files? How do you write files? Like how do buffers work? What else does Node have? A lot of stuff, like how to make fetch requests in Node and stuff. Those are some of the things you might see. Do you think being a full stack dev gives you less credibility when looking for a React position? Do you think that being a full stack dev means you're not good in anything? I don't know. I consider myself a full stack dev, and I think I'm pretty good at some stuff. Am I better than someone who's like specialized in front end development? No, but I know a lot about front end to be able to solve business problems. I know enough about back end to be able to solve business problems. I know enough about DevOps and CI/CD pipelines and that whole infrastructure of code to be able to solve business problems. And I think just knowing enough to solve the problem is good. If you want to become specialized in something, that's cool too. And I think usually if you're starting off, it's better to specialize than it is to like be a full stack. Like to have your goals as being like a full stack dev. It's probably better just like focus on the front end or the back end or something. Can I get a job with Svelte? I don't know. I don't think there's that many Svelte jobs. And I don't know if you're good at Svelte or not, so I can't tell you if you could get a job. But I would look in your area, and I would say like how many Svelte jobs are in your area. Are there remote Svelte jobs? I would think that the Svelte opportunities would be for new projects that are like, I don't know, the lead devs like really want Svelte. I think that's the only time you're going to be able to find a Svelte project. Yeah, I'm using Next.13, but I'm not using the app directory. When do you run your infrastructure Terraform in the CI/CD pipeline? Yeah, so typically I would run it at the start of the deployment process before you try to deploy your API, because usually you need the infrastructure to exist before you try to deploy your UI or to try to deploy your API code, right? So I run Terraform first, and then I would run like deploy UI, deploy API. Or if you have somehow you manage to get all of your like UI deployment, API deployment inside of a single Terraform setup, then you could just have Terraform handle all that. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it could work. What are some resources you would recommend to learn AWS? again, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I just like loading up AWS or loading up a tool and just start playing with it. So I would start with like S3. Can you configure your own S3 bucket? Can you figure out how to upload things to S3 using the SDK? Can you figure out how to download things? Can you create pre-signed URLs on S3? Can you set up the S3 bucket policies to allow cores or to allow certain permissions? I don't know. You can watch tutorials and courses on it. There's like a bunch of paid courses out there. I tried watching courses, but I'm just so bored of courses. Like when I'm like 1 hour into the course, I just close out and I'm like, dude, I'd rather just go and load up AWS and just start playing with stuff myself. That's how like ADHD I am when it comes to courses. I don't really have ADHD, but I just can't focus with courses and tutorials. If you don't have any work experience or never did internships, how many projects should I mention in my CV? I don't really know. The thing is, like, I'm not good at giving job hunting advice. That's not what this channel's for. I'm here to like help you learn how to code. So I don't really know like what the best thing is to put on a CV, because I know people in my Discord who have like projects on their resume and they've been hunting for jobs for months now, even though they have a nice like full stack project on their portfolio and their resume. They don't have that like work experience, so it like doesn't sometimes matter, even if they have a project on their CV. But I would say make sure it's like one nice project that has decent amount of features if you do put that on. Let's see. Yeah, those are some good services to learn. I'll put Dynamo in here just because we like using Dynamo at work. Let's see. Probably IAM. You're gonna have to learn IAM to hit the ground running. You're gonna have to learn CloudFront, CloudFormation, CloudWatch if you want to like be able to look at your logs. The list just keeps going, but once you learn one thing, you're gonna end up having to learn other stuff. I'm using the M1 Air. That's my MacBook. How much of GPT do you use in your workflow? I load it up every once in a while just to see if it can like solve a small little problem for me, and I find it easier to use Chat GPT if I know that the thing I'm looking up is like how can I say this? Chat GPT was trained on like data from like 2021 or something. So if I know if what I'm asking is going to be relevant because it's like one of those like fundamental programming questions, I will try Chat GPT. In fact, I just did it today and it gave me some bad code. So it's like, I don't know. I want to be lazy and just trust the AI to give me something, but usually I just end up having to Google it. What do you think about Neo4j? I have not used it. Fitting gems of advice. I guess. I'm just rambling, I think, but actually if you're a Java developer, still you can use Spring Boot as a backend. I haven't used it. Okay. Sun Music is built on Svelte. Or Apple Music is built on Svelte. Svelte is blowing up in data visualization, especially in media. Fragile casualistic Dall-E doses. Do you add data to the Dall-E model fine tuning? No, I haven't even learned how to do that. I should probably do that. In fact, is that, Malik, if you're still here, is that pretty easy to do? Like, how do you fine tune Dall-E? Do you just like give it images or give it reference things that help it generate better things? That'd be pretty cool to do. Can you dynamically change meta tags in React? I don't know about React. I think you might be able to do it in React. I think it's called React Helmet, maybe? Or is that for security? A document head manager for React Helmet. Yeah, if you're using like React as a single page application, you can use React Helmet, which I believe is a way to dynamically change your metadata. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. If you're using Next.js, it's kind of built into your page header, the data by default. When is the best time to use NoSQL versus SQL? And which do you prefer? I think NoSQL is better geared for like when your data sets are huge and like you have this need for like large scale data. Honestly, I'm not even like that good at this comparison. SQL is good for when you have like relational data, which is basically most data. If you think about it, like most data models are relational. And when I've used NoSQL stuff like at work, it just turns into a pain because you end up slowly like adding relational data to it. And you can use something like, for example, like Mongo has ability to do like parent-child queries and stuff, but it just always ends up being more work than just using SQL to begin with. But if you actually have like a bunch of like data that looks like documents that are like unrelated to other pieces of data, then you could just dump them all into a NoSQL store, and it's very easy to query over that. I don't know if I explained that right. So, is 200K good salary for a 3-year-old software developer, or should I switch? Are you living in the US? Like 300K USD for a 3-year-old software developer? Yeah, I need more information for that. But that's probably more than I make. That's a lot more than I make. So I'd have to go and, if that's, in my opinion, yeah, that's a good salary. Have you finished the front end mentor challenge? I have not. I gave up on that. Let's see. I have no idea. I'm married for myself. My nights are so dead. I feel depressed now. Dang. I hope you're feeling better. Dark quick, huh? Banking app cannot use NoSQL. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like the atomic stuff, the ACID compliance. Like I don't really know if NoSQL has a lot of that ACID compliance stuff, like consistency and atomic rights and stuff and transactions. If you need that type of support, then you might have to lean towards SQL because I don't know if NoSQL by default has like transactions. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Banking apps cannot use NoSQL. I think it depends. Like if the NoSQL thing you're using has transaction support, you could probably use it. What's up, Diamantra Beats? Have you used MariaDB? I have not. Isn't it just like MySQL? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just keep on trying, keep on learning, keep on applying to places, and at some point, like, you'll get a breakthrough, and everything will just look more positive, I think. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel sorry for you that there's so many people out there trying to find jobs, and they have, like, degrees, and they can't get jobs. Um, so I don't know, like, I would just keep on trying to connect with other people, try to find other devs, get your name out there, and at some point, someone's gonna hand you that golden ticket to your first dev job, and everything will just get easier from there, I think. Udaman says, "Do you have any interest in working for bigger tech companies?" Uh, not really. I think my sweet spot of like working is like smaller scale teams, smaller companies, less overhead, less red tape. I like the flexibility and freedom that a smaller company gives you because like usually there's not like a bunch of hurdles you have to go through just to be able to try some new piece of technology. Like if you work at big tech and you really want to do Svelte, usually there's like a committee of people you got to talk to and you got to get it approved, and then there's like this formal review process of like, oh, we can't use Svelte because it's too new. It's got to be in existence for like 4 years before you can use it. That's what big tech uh, reminds me of. Like if you work at Google, is there a chance that you're going to be able to use Svelte at Google? Probably not. They're probably going to make you use Angular or whatever internal tools they use. So no, I'm not really interested in big tech companies, to be honest. But I think there's a lot of cool stuff you could probably learn and be exposed to at big tech companies, like terabytes of data. Like I've never even seen that before in my career. Like that's big data. I'm sure like petabytes of data is even larger, right? And I don't think I can even comprehend how you build API systems to handle all that data. I think that's something that would be really cool if you worked at a big tech company that had that much data. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it with like the red tape that you probably have to encounter. And you also feel like you're not important, right? Because you're at a company of a bunch of people, and it's hard to actually like feel like you're contributing because everyone's trying to get up the ladder. Everyone's trying to like show off that they're smarter than everyone else so they can get a raise. And like at a smaller company, like no one cares. It's just like let's just get this feature built. Let's just get this app deployed. But I will say a bigger company probably has more opportunities for getting a newly hired because they'll be willing to train you and get you up to speed versus a smaller company probably a little bit harder because they don't want to hire someone where they have to sit there for like 6 months making sure you know how to code. They want to hire someone who can like hit the ground running when you get hired. So it's like a trade-off. So many projects and stuff, but still a good story. Where am I? Yeah, Humanth, I mean, you're welcome to vent here. I don't really have good advice for you. But life, just keep your head out. I mean, keep your head up. There's always low points in life, and there's always high points in life, and you're just encountering one of your little dips, your low dips in life, and you'll come back out. Uh, just don't let it keep pulling you down further, I guess. Really cool idea with icon generation. Yeah, this isn't even my idea. I just saw someone on Twitter do it, so I decided I'm gonna do the exact same thing. And it's really not even that intuitive. Like it's nothing special either. I'm just calling an API that generates the icons for me. So it's like I'm just the middleman. All right, let's. I don't think I've even added anything. Let's see. Yeah, He-Manth, I would also say join my Discord if you just want to hang out with other developers and find a place to like talk and chat. You'd be welcome on my Discord. You can ask some coding questions. You can kind of share the things you're working on. I would say keep your mind active and keep focus on building something. Netflix 3 months of POC, Backbone.js and React.js before React. I'd say it's possible, though it's an uneasy endeavor. I got my first front-end position at 19. I argue it's better to work while you're studying. You'll learn. Okay. Have an interview tomorrow for ERP software engineering. Is it a good career path? I don't know what ERP means. What's up, Distance? Do you have any full stack project ideas? Yeah, you could build a Trello clone, like a project management card moving app. That'd be a cool app idea. If you just want practice. What company sizes have the best life balance? Probably larger companies, to be honest. A lot of people at large companies like have families, they have lives outside of work. They do their 8 hours a day and then they go home. I think smaller companies and more specifically startups, they're going to try to milk you for your time depending on if it depends on the management of the startup and the company, right? I think smaller companies might have more deadlines and like I'm just making stuff up. Honestly, I don't really know. But I would think from my like observation, the larger the company is, the more it's just like, whatever, I'll do my 8 hours, I'll go home. I feel like the smaller the company is, the more serious they are about like we could go bankrupt next year if we don't get this feature out the door. So it feels like a smaller startup company might be more stressful. But I don't know. What is the best practice to store auth token and what's additional things we can do on the front end side to encrypt it? Usually you want to store your auth tokens in a cookie. Usually you don't encrypt the auth token. Now, if you're talking about API tokens, you should never have that on your front end to begin with. That should be always on the back end and never let that leak to the front end. What is better according to you, context API Redux? I mean, I'd probably say use context if it's something simple. But I kind of would lean towards like what's it called? Zustand or Jotai. If you just need a piece of state that you need to share between components. Context and Redux are just, there's a lot of friction using them. I don't like them. If you use Jotai, it's very easy to just like store a piece of state somewhere. Link the Discord. The Discord is, you go to any of my non-live stream videos, and it's always in the description. There's a Discord link in the description of all my videos. And also, if you go to my about page of my YouTube channel, it's there as well. Okay, yeah, I can, hold on. Let me post a link to my Discord. Let me be a good live streamer who doesn't have any links ready to go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how I did this. I'm gonna go to my channel, and you see here, there's a Discord link right there. See that? You click it, and it should ask you to join my Discord. Okay, what you can also do is you can go to any of my videos, click on the Discord link. Go ahead and do this right there. I'm teaching people how to fish, okay? I'm not trying to be facetious, but I'm teaching you how to fish. You got to be able to dive into this information and try to find it for yourself. But for those who don't want to fish, oh, this link is way too big. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to copy it, so good luck. Intuitive Mind, I'm working on gaining subscribers. What is Intuitive Mind? You don't have anything bad. Okay, you don't seem like you're coding related, so okay. What would you pick, AWS DynamoDB or MongoDB Atlas? Personally, I'd probably use MongoDB Atlas. Dynamo has a very, very specific use case. And if your data is relational at all, I would probably never use Dynamo. I'm building an optimization route map for waypoints. How can I monetize it in your opinion? So like how to find the fastest way to drive somewhere? Is that what you're talking about? Or like, okay, if you have like 4 places you got to go to today, you got to go to like grocery store, you got to go to the mailbox, you got to go here, you got to go there, you got to stop by a friend's house. You put in all those points and it tells you the fastest way to kind of drive there. I mean, I think that could probably be like a monthly subscription thing if you think people would actually use that every month. If you think it's like a one-off thing, you could try doing like a credit approach where like every time they generate a new, you could buy like 10 credits of like, you can buy waypoints. How about that? You could monetize based on waypoints. So if they want to buy 100 worth of waypoints, every time they create a map and put waypoints in, it just uses up their waypoint credits. I don't know. It might be more difficult doing that approach. Maybe just a monthly subscription might be easier. But I feel like for it to be a monthly subscription, like this has to be something that you use all the time, every month. Otherwise, it's just hard to like convince someone to pay $5 a month for something that they only use like once a month. Okay, I'm pretty behind on the comments, so I might just kind of skip forward real quick. There's a lot of questions. How do you handle requests on the front end with React? I just use like the fetch API. Spelling mistake in the title, Planetscsale. Oh, it's fine. Thanks for pointing that out, but I'm too lazy to go fix it, to be honest. Honestly, I haven't really built much of anything today. I've been working on this little Saas side project, which I'll just do a quick demo. Oops. Why can't I type? 1 second. By the way, let me just post a link here. Let me do some little marketing right here. So I'm working on this little Saas side project where when you log in, you can buy some credits, and when you buy the credits, you can go and you can generate an image. So if someone wants to give me like a prompt of an image you want to see me generate on this stream, let me know. Just give me like a short sentence of an object, maybe an adjective or an adverb on the subject, and I'll do that. What type of projects will go to my portfolio? Maybe a Trello clone, like a project management app. I'm happy to have someone like you online helping people out. Thanks for your hard work. I'll catch you later. Hey, appreciate the comment. Thanks for stopping by. Did someone make a video walking through all the AWS services? Oh, could I make a video? Yeah, I could probably try to do that. Are you going to make a video about Tailwind? I think I have some on my channel, but I don't really know what you all would want to learn about Tailwind. The one who pointed out the spelling mistake in the title must be a tester. Yeah, I need to fix that. Have I ever made or released my own npm package? I think I've done it like once or twice on like a little side project package. I think it's just a matter of running like npm package and npm deploy, and it takes and zips your code and it like pushes up to the npm repo. And there's like one or two things you have to modify in the package JSON so it knows like where the entry point is for your files. I think it's like a main property. How often do you use data structures and algorithm concepts in your projects? Are they important outside of interviews? Not that often. I mean, like you'll use arrays, you'll use trees if you're dealing with like tree traversal or like DOM manipulation, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Because I failed at React performing portfolio part. Because I failed at React performance profiling part of the interview, can I consider myself being senior or mid dev? I'm not sure what your question is. I mean, I probably fail at performance profiling part of the interview. Like, I've messed with the React performance profiler maybe a couple times, but for the most part, like I haven't really had to dive that deep into the React profiler. But yeah, I don't know what your question is. Yeah, maybe I'll get back into that at some point. The refactoring a subscribers project. There are just a lot of, it's like a lot of work because you got to read through their code. And like after I do those videos, I just feel mentally drained. It's like you spend the whole time trying to understand someone else's code and make it better. And it's like, ugh. It was fun doing and it helped a lot of people, but it's just like, I don't know if it helped my mental health. All right, a sleepy otter. Let's try that. Someone said a sleeping otter. And then I'll just pick like a color. I'll say yellow. We'll do like metallic and we'll say square. Let's just generate one of those. A walking tree. Laughing Cthulhu. Well, these are pretty cool. Let's try some of these. All right, here's a sleeping otter. Pretty cool. I don't know if that looks more like a rat. Again, I don't. Oh, thank you, John Sanchez, for buying the 100 credits. Protagonist. Laughing Kookaburra. I don't know what that is. Let's try Polygon. Okay, I guess that's what a kookaburra is. I don't. It doesn't look like it's laughing either. So, laughing Cthulhu. Okay, let's try that. I'm gonna try pixelated. Let's see what we get if we pixelate it. Monkey acting like a human. I'll be honest, I probably won't get back to the code today. Like, I just got caught up in answering questions, and I'm probably gonna wrap up this stream soon. Oh, that's pretty cool. Laughing Cthulhu. That's pretty cool. Monkey acting like a human. Let's make it flat. Let's make it rounded. This AI, like the Dall-E stuff, is just mind blowing. I want to go and research, like, is it doing a dab right now? What is that? Interesting. I guess that's a human action. Do we have headless UI? Yeah, I think headless UI is good. I would recommend it. Do you think tRPC may slow down the development or be overkill for certain projects? I think tRPC is great for a smaller scale team that wants to use TypeScript from the front end to the back end. I have no issues with tRPC currently. Other than a lot of things do depend on normal REST APIs, like Stripe, for example, you have to have a REST API that accepts a post request. So you end up having to mix tRPC with traditional REST APIs. So it's not a complete replacer to use tRPC. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad my WebSocket game has helped. What prompts do I use for such good quality though? Normally they're pretty trashy. Yeah, that's the secret formula to my API, which I won't share, right? It's the way you set up the prompts is what's going to make the icons good. It's not too hard to figure out though. Otter smug dancing in an empty. Okay, that's going to be too much. I don't think it's going to be able to do all that. To be honest, I could try it. Okay, let's just do a couple more of these. I'll do the otter dancing at a. Let's try it. Clay. Otter dancing. Otter in a spaceship. Oh, there's an otter dancing. And it does look pretty empty. I don't know. I don't know if that's what we're going for. Let's try a coder in a spaceship. We'll try flat. We'll go back to square. Is there any way you can make it to where if you save the image, it can be the name of the input you type in? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I will try to do that. I'll leave I'll put a to do, and I will say save the image name using the prompt text. How about that? All right, last one. Odor in a spaceship. That does not look like a spaceship. Let's try the other one. This was chilling at the beach. Yeah, that'd be cool. I always wanted to go get a master's and like learn more about like computer vision and machine learning. I just never did it. But I think that would be really cool to learn about AI and machine learning. React debugging a stall closure bug for the first time. Daria, what you doing? Anonymous. Thanks, Cody. I'm gonna try to make a small web page using the Dall-E OpenAI API as well. Yeah, try it out. Try it out. It's fun. It's fun playing around with this. Daria trying to code. Chilling at the beach. Cool. So that's kind of like what I've been working on just for fun. I recently just worked on getting all these images to be scaled down when they're made. So I think there was an issue before where like people could potentially get access to the full high-res icons, which not necessarily what you want when you go to the community page. Like you don't want people kind of grabbing the icons that you made. So now when I make icons, I store the original 3 megabyte icon into S3, but then I also scale it down to like 256 by 256. And I store that scaled image in S3 as well with a completely different ID. So even if you look at the network tab, you won't know what the original ID of the image is when you go to this community page. And I think I mean, I do think some of the old IDs are coming over, and I have to run a migration to kind of update the old ones and rescale them down. But that's the idea. Is this Walter White? CSGO terrorist. Nice. Cool, cool. Anyway, yeah, so like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I am fighting a cold and my voice is starting to go. My nose is stuffed. I keep having to swallow and clear my throat. So I'm gonna wrap up this stream. I'm sorry I didn't really code much on this stream. I don't think we literally did any coding, but I hope I answered a lot of your questions and you guys feel like you have more insight as to whatever you asked how to learn. That's I learned the T3 stack and now I'm tempted to use it everywhere because it makes things so easy, but is it a valuable stack for getting a job? I feel like GraphQL Express more common. I think REST is probably the most common. If you just understand REST and how to make RESTful APIs with like normal CRUD operations, you'll be good. You can still use the T3 stack and tRPC just for side projects, but you're gonna want to get good at RESTful APIs, honestly. GraphQL is still even a smaller subset of real APIs. I think REST APIs is like where a majority of all APIs still are. So, I mean, I still like using the T3 stack, but if I was trying to find a job, I would probably focus on REST APIs. That's just my opinion. I punch. Hey, before you go, I wanted to say your content is 10 out of 10, very informative and engaging. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind comment and hope to see you around on any future streams. I have 7 years of experience. I received 3 senior dev offers and 1 meteor dev offer because I failed a React performance profiler interview. Should I consider myself a senior? Or, I mean, if you've gotten 2 senior offers, you're a senior. Especially if you have 7 years of experience, like you're already a senior dev. I would not accept the mid dev offer just because you failed a profiler interview question. I think after like what, how many years of experience? Like 5 years, you're like already considered a senior dev in most companies. So yeah, I would not accept that company that's trying to say that you're a mid personally, just because you fail on a little profiler quiz. Yeah, I got some Theraflu. I've been taking some medicine, but yeah, I think maybe drinking some tea would help. It doesn't help that yesterday is my kid's birthday and I ate like 4 cupcakes. Sugar does not help with fighting a cold, and now we're suffering and I'm reaping the consequences of that. Anyway, go eat some chicken soup. Yeah. Do you learn Go? I spent like a week learning Go. That's the much time as I spent with Go. It's fun to learn. I would probably recommend using it on an API. If I had more time to play with it, I would, but I'm just going to try to stay focused on, the current stack I'm using. That's Node, Next, stuff like that, JavaScript, and not deviate too much from the content that I'm used to publishing. All right, cool, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining the stream. Again, little promotions. Join my Discord if you want a place to talk to other developers or talk to me directly or just ask questions. Remember to like my streams and like my videos because it does help the algorithm promote my channel. Leave comments as well on my videos, even if you don't have anything to say. Just leave something anyway because it helps my channels grow. Yeah, and that's about it. Also, if you join my Discord, I have like on the top section. If you want to see me make a video on something, you are welcome to post there. I can't guarantee I'll make a video on the topic because I want to try to keep it focused on the things that I'm currently working on. But you're welcome to post like a message in the Discord and maybe I'll make a video about that topic one day. Anyway, yeah. Have a good day. Happy coding. Later all.